See, the real life, this is camera now. I will tell you real life. As the 200,000 is coming in now, the school fees of my daughter is knocking at the door, and I know that I will put 30% here, 10% for God, this one 2%. When you leave all this percentage, I want to go and pay.
School fees.
How do you manage all these things?
All right, so let me start with the team part, then we get to the finance part. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special episode of the Magic Mind podcast. This episode is special because I am not alone on this one. I have 3 amazing colleagues here with me, joining me for this episode. This one is special. We call it Ask Mr. Magic. In this episode, I would have my colleagues ask me questions that I believe is important for every photographer out there, questions that would help you develop your business. I decided to come up with this episode solely because I don't want to just be the only one talking to you guys. I just don't want to be talking and keep talking. It's important for me that I hear from you guys, It's important that I understand your challenges. I have a clear understanding of where you are in your business, in your photography journey. I believe it will help me answer your questions, Nothing is as beautiful as answering those questions directly, And that's what made me come up with this special episode. So this is not going to be the only time we'll have this. Subsequently, we'll be having this episode as frequent as every month, where photographers can come live here to the studio, ask me questions that is important for photographers and for photography businesses. And I believe as you watch this episode, it will be impactful for you, and it's going to help you get more data that can inform better decisions in your photography journey and also in your business. So you're welcome, LOP Studios. You're welcome to the studio. Yeah, Femutainment, you're also welcome to the studio. Almighty Project One, you're welcome to the studio. Glad to have you guys here. It's important for us that you guys showed up. We are grateful, at the academy that you guys are supporting us. If you guys are not there, who are we going to teach? Who are we going to impact? But your presence, your love, and your support has been major for us. So it's important that we acknowledge this thing. So you're welcome again, guys. You're welcome. All right, so let's just get straight to it. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have questions for me. You said you have 100 questions. So have mercy on me today. All right, so LOP Studios, I'll start with you. What's on your mind?
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for what you do for the community.
Yeah, thank you.
And I have this question that often and on I have people asking me too, and it's about marketing and branding. How do you market your photography business, and what advice do you give to a photographer about personal branding? Because I understand that as a photographer, you should have something. There's something about personal branding because many people deal with you first.
Yes.
Because before dealing with your business as a whole. So how do you manage it, marketing your business and personal branding?
Awesome. That's a very direct question and a very good one at that, because there's no way you can grow without branding and marketing. It's not even possible, And here's how I'm going to answer the question. You have to be intentional about how you want your business to be early on. And here's how it's going to be. You have like 2 options, in my opinion. You can choose to have a business brand, or you have a personal brand, so that you don't have issues later. And I'm going to explain what I mean. I'm talking of branding now, then we get to marketing after. You choose to have a business brand or a personal brand. Now, a business brand is a type of brand where you don't have a face to it. It's just a company, an organization. Like, for example, you see brands like Zenith Bank. There's no face to Zenith Bank. You can't walk into Zenith Bank and say you want Jimovia to open your account for you. We know the CEO, but it's not the face of the brand. It's just the chairman or CEO of the brand. So that's a business brand. Then we have personal brands where the owner of the business is the face of the brand. The person is always out there talking about the brand, doing, speaking, marketing, doing everything that has to do with the brand. So you can choose to say, okay, I want to have a business brand where I am behind the scene. So what is out there is maybe content that we are creating for the brand. It is not peculiar to an individual. Or you want to have a personal brand where I am out there, I show up, I make videos talking about my business, talking about my photography, talking about what I do. That's a personal brand. So from the beginning, you need to know. If you are the type of photographer that is trying to shoot high-end, you're the type of photographer that is trying to build networks, you're the type of photographer that wants to use yourself to promote your brand, you need a personal brand. But if you're a type of photographer that just want to have a business, the business is just, you don't have to be the one shooting. You don't have to be the one selling the brand. You probably want to involve yourself in other things. It's advisable you have a business brand. Because Some of us try to build personal brands. We put ourselves out there. In the long run, people book us for jobs. We don't show up. You are contradicting your brand. A personal brand is the type of brand where you are the brand. You are the product. So it is how you present your brand is how your brand is reflected. Let me explain. Let me take it deeper. If you are a photographer with a personal brand, when you get jobs, you have to show up. Let me be as practical as that, because you are the one they know. It is your face they are familiar with. You use your face to build that brand. But if you have a business brand, nobody knows you. The ones that even know you just know you own the business. But they don't particularly need you to be present for their jobs. But the truth is, it has its pros and it has its cons. People with personal brands are the one that's taking the highest end clients. Because high-end clients don't want to deal with invisible faces. High-end clients they want to know who they are dealing with, personal, because they believe they are paying well for them to get the best. But if you are the type of photographer that want to have a business where you serve different levels of clients, which there's nothing wrong with. You can be serving the low-end clients and you make a lot of money and you have a big business around it. There's nothing wrong with. We used to hear this thing that there's only high-end clients, photographers that shoot high-end that don't make money. That's a big lie. You can shoot the low-end and make as much money, even more than what high-end clients are making. What high-end photographers are making. Now, you have to make up your mind and say, what type of brand do I want to have? So that you can follow through that type of brand as you are building your business. Because if you have a personal brand today, people already know you, they're already falling in love with you, they are booking you because they love your personality online. They are now booking you for jobs, you are not present. You are messing up your brand. Because they know you, it's you they want. That's why they ask questions like, where is he? Are you around? Are you here? I'm seeing different faces. But if you have a business brand from the onset, you are not even online. You might be online. You can tell the world that, okay, I am the CEO of so brand. I'm the CEO of LOP Studios. But we are a team. And you are very vocal about it. And even the guys that work with you are also out there. So on your content, they can see that, okay, it's not just this guy. There are like 5 faces here. So they understand. So there's no discrepancy. So there won't be issue. So that thing is important when it comes to branding. It's how you want people to perceive you. Do you want people to fall in love with you personally? Or you want people to fall in love with the brand? And if you want people to fall in love with the brand, you have to take few steps back. Take few steps back so that it will not just be all about you. But trust me, if you really want to stay in that high end, personal brand goes a long way. Because a lot of us want to eat our cake and have it. You want to have personal brand, you want to be the celebrity, and people book you for a job, you don't want to go. It will be tough, especially for people that are already familiar with you. So you have to be honest with yourself. Because business brands don't usually make much money like personal brand. Let me correct that statement. Business brands don't usually make much money per job like personal brand. For example, a business brand might not charge as high as millions upon millions for weddings, but personal brand can. Because personal brand is the product. If you want me to come for your wedding, you have to pay so amount. But business brand, you can collect 5 weddings and collect lesser, but probably even make more and just arrange for your team to execute for you. So you see that it has its advantage and disadvantage, but they are all workable. You just have to make up your mind and say, what type of brand do I want to create in my business? I hope that answers the question. All right. So let me quickly answer the marketing before you come up. So when it comes to marketing your brand, you can't stick to just posting on Instagram. And that's the mistake a lot of photographers make. You just post on Instagram. No. You don't just post on Instagram. One of the major catalysts that has helped my business in the past year has been meeting new people. I found out that meeting new people has to become as important as eating food. Is that crucial? As important as like the way you take your breakfast important. Is that important? Meeting people should not just be a matter of chance. That maybe something happened, you were somewhere, you now met people. You have to intentionally add it to your life. Because marketing goes beyond social media. Social media is the easiest and simplest way of marketing. So I would say social media marketing is like number 1. But after social media marketing, you need to have real life marketing. And the number 1 best way to do real life marketing is networking. You have to meet new people. And realize that I have people that have given me so many jobs this year, and it didn't come through social media. It was because I met someone, and from that person, and the person I met was not even through social media. I went to give someone value, someone that's a big person, and from this person, I was able to connect to this number of persons. So even if I was completely absent on social media, all these people that I'm talking about would have given me jobs. So social media did not play a role in that. Then I still have my social media, which I feel like everybody focuses on alone. And I feel that's a big issue. Posting on Instagram is important. It's important that you put, but that's not the only thing you should do. You should have a lifestyle of going out, especially if you're a creative. Because you need people. There's no way you can grow your creative business, you can grow your creative journey without people. Not just as a photographer. Because in the nearest future, you can even grow to becoming something else. You can have a new passion. But it is people that will fuel that passion, that will pay that passion. If you are a photographer now, you are meeting people, you are making friends every time of your life. In the nearest future, if you choose to say, okay, now I want to go into real estate, you already have people. That's the power of people. You already have friends that you got when you were still, a photographer. That you can say, Bo, I'm into real estate now. If you need real estate services, I'm available. You are not stranded. You are not alone. Social media makes it look like you have people, but that's a big lie. I used to say I have over 70,000 followers on social media. I know that like 50,000 out of that 7,000, they have my competitors, photographers like yourself. So I don't let it get to my head that I have followers. So most of the people that really help my business and my life, I don't even meet them on social media. I meet them in conferences. I meet them in like exhibitions. I meet them in hangouts. So I said to myself that, okay, I have to be going out for programs. And it doesn't have to be photography-related programs. Because that's the mistake we make. We think if it's not about lighting and retouching, it's none of our business. That's a big lie. You have to go to places. In fact, it's better to even go more. Because if you go to places that is photography-related, it's your fellow photographers that you meet there. How many fellow photographers will patronize you? Maybe once in a blue moon. But when you go to where they are doing tech, where they are talking about agriculture, where they are talking about politics. We have conferences like that every day. If you register on Eventbrite, you see a lot of them. Free. You don't even have to pay. Especially tech. Tech is big now. So you go to these conferences, they do exhibitions, you see all these business seminars, all these places. You are not just going there to listen to what the speaker has to say. In fact, most of the expensive conferences that is out there now, people go there not because of what the speaker has to say. You see some conferences, they say they should pay 5 million to attend the conference. If you can afford to pay 5 million for a conference, that means you have money now. Why do you even need conference? But people pay for those conferences because they know that the next person that is paying this 5 million I'm paying must not be a small boy. He is going to be a perfect person to be my next friend. So going out has to be a part of you because that's marketing. The more people know you, the more people become more familiar with you, the more potential customers you have. That's the old definition of leads. You understand? And my last point for marketing is this. You need to learn to generate leads as a business. You need to learn to generate leads as a business. And let me give you a perfect example. You need to have something that you give your potential customers for free. This is a powerful business principle. A lot of photographers don't do this. In fact, this principle, people should pay me for it. But here's it. As a business, if you don't learn to generate leads, you can't sell. You posting picture on Instagram is not you generating leads. That one is just you generating awareness. You post a beautiful pictures, people are liking it. All your photographer friends comment and say, boss, on the comment section, and you feel good. That's just awareness. Leads is where you get the data of some people that can potentially buy your products. And how do you do that? You need to find something that will make them click on your link. Something that is free or cheap, preferably free. Maybe, for example, you are a portrait photographer and you say you have a free template of maybe wardrobe template. Or now they can put together the outfit for their next shoot. And you make it a small ebook. And you put it on your link for free. That if you are planning your shoot, even if you're a photographer or you are a beautiful lady, you want to have your next birthday shoot and you don't know how to put together the outfit you wear, I created a template mood board that you can use for your next shoot. Doesn't mean they'll patronize you, but you're already giving value out there. Chances are, if 1,000 people download that free ebook, at least three persons will potentially come and book you for their shoot because they got that value from you. There has to be something that comes out from you to people for free. And for them to get that thing that is for free, they give you their information. They don't pay you, but at least they give you their information, like their name, their email, their phone number. Then when you get their information, you add it to your database. Then you can use that to follow up with people, send them messages. And it doesn't have to be messages that they must patronize you. It can just be Happy New Month messages, Merry Christmas, Happy Easter, Happy Salah, or whatever thing you do. That way you are just putting yourself in the minds of people. You see that all these strategies I'm telling you is not social media. It's real business strategies. This is how you get sales. It's not just by posting picture and hoping to the heavens that somebody sees it. It works too. Sometimes you post some picture, the picture will trend, people will see it and they'll book you. But that should not be the only thing you rely on. At least you should have 2 or 3 channels that helps you. And I believe these little tips has helped a bit. Awesome. Okay, so let me just answer Femi Temi and then I'll move to you. All right.
Yeah, just like the same question I'm about to ask. That's what they asked. So the another thing is that what aspect of photography are you comfortable with?
What aspect of photography am I comfortable with? I'm a wedding photographer. If you ask me,
Most of them want that they're always wedding.
yeah, I'm a wedding guy. Well, wedding, I didn't choose wedding. I say this a lot, and this is me being honest. I did not choose wedding out of maybe they said that's what's lucrative. When I found photography, it was wedding I found. I don't know how to say it. Like when I saw, I didn't know about photography. I know there are photographers like my daughter's Baba that used to shoot us then. So when I was doing graphics, I saw, that was my first time on Instagram. And I just stumbled on some, like, I don't know if you guys know Jide Kola. I stumbled on Jide Kola. From there, I saw Mufeba Muyiwa. And I was like, these photos are too fine. Where did this come from? And all these photos were wedding photos. So I just fell in love with weddings from the beginning. So my passion for photography was wedding photography. I didn't really have, my mind was not even in any type of photography. And all along the years, I have explored other photography. And I know it's not really my calling. Wedding is my calling. But I do other photography very well. I do portraits very well. I can take amazing portrait photographs, you know. But other than wedding and portrait, I'm not really very interested in other types. But I will say this just to add to what you said. Your choice of photography has to be born out of interest, not out of the market. Because there's no photography genre that is not lucrative. So don't choose your genre of photography based on what they say is lucrative. Because you will be tired. You have to choose based on what you feel you are interested in. I like weddings. I like portraits. I love wildlife. I love landscape. In fact, nowadays, wedding is even like the lowest in value chain when it comes to genres of photography. Trust me, before, maybe when photography just came up in Africa, Nigeria, it was weddings because it was easy. Just find someone that's getting married. But now, weddings is even the lowest. People that do landscape, people that shoot sports, they may not go deeper. There's a lot of them. So it's not about the money. But my point is, whatever genre of photography you choose, there's money in it. So just focus on what you are interested in and be fantastic at it. You know, that way you are able to command enough value from people. All right, project 1.
Okay, in respect to the aspect of branding, you mentioned personal branding and business branding. So, at some point in your life, you were the face of your brand, where you as a personal brand.
Yeah.
Which I know now, you are more into business branding. So, how did you transition into from?
Good question. Because to be honest, you're right. I started with personal brand. I didn't know much then, so I just wanted to feel good, feel like a celeb. So I was just blasting all my pages with my face and all of that. But as I grew as a business, I had to pivot to business brand. And the truth is, this is the 2 things. Number 1, when you change your branding, you have to understand that it will take time for people to accept it. Specifically, people that already know your brand. The people that don't know your brand that are coming new, you don't have any issues with those ones because they have something they are getting to meet. So if you are changing from personal brand to business brand like I did, you understand that for the first year or 2, some people will fight you. If you tell someone that you used to, when they call you in the middle of the night, you used to pick the call. Later, you now tell them that from 10 p.m., our phone is not available. They will be angry. Because they've called you 12 p.m. before, and in fact, you are ready to pick the call. So things have changed. So these people are angry because they are already familiar with a certain type of brand, and they need time to adapt to the new brand. And so trust me, some people will not even wait to adapt. Some people will leave you. That's the fact. Some people will leave you and probably come back later. Some will never come back. That's just part of life. That's why I said it's important that you figure it out early. But doesn't mean in your journey, like me, I didn't figure it out early. So even if you feel, I don't think this personal brand thing is working for me, I think I'd rather, you can pivot, but understand that the people that already know you, you have to try to constantly communicate the new brand to them. And don't let the excellence of your products reduce because you change your brand. Because it's the excellence of the product that will make them, they can be angry at first, that I booked you for a job, you didn't show up, and you're sending your team. When they now see the results of the job, they are okay and they love it. Not that they'll see the result of the job and they're like, no wonder. It's because it didn't show up. That means you are making them understand that you are not good enough anymore. But if you do that and they see the result and they are okay, the next time they'll come to you and they understand that, okay, this guy can even deliver even if he's not present. Some won't take it that way, some will leave, like I said. But it's important that you know that when you are changing your brand, you are only changing it for the people that are coming. The people that are coming don't know where you're coming from. So what they meet is what they work with. So if they meet business brand, that's what they know. But the ones that already know you, you have to give them time to adapt and change to that new brand. I hope that helps. All right, awesome.
Thank you, sir. That's mind blowing. And I need to ask this question. It's about work-life balance, because this all my questions are personal questions. Trust me. So it's how do you manage the ethics of this business with your personal life, even when you are burnt out? Because there's a time that you are even you are blocked, you don't just go and sleep, and something is calling your attention. Because I was telling one of my guys yesterday that for a week I had a lot of pending jobs, and I was looking at a system like this, and I left it. So how do you manage work life?
Personally, one of the major issues creative usually have, based on what you ask, is that they can't manage work-life balance, and this is because we don't know how to build teams. When we start our businesses, we start alone, we are supposed to start alone, but you have to understand the power of team early. And you don't need to think that until you've arrived and you have all of the money in the world before you start to put the team together. When you come to a point where you're already a good photographer, you need to start building a team. And building a team early is even good because you are just starting out. All you need is just young people. And when I say people, I don't mean a dozen. It can just be 2 people or 2 persons that you can start to train on the side. Because to be honest, when was the last time I even retouched a wedding? I can't even really remember. I just supervise and I do some finishing touch. The work is moving. Why am I saying this? There's no way you will not be burnt out if you are the one doing 80% of the work. There's no way. Especially if you already have a business that is running and you're getting jobs constantly. There's no way you will not have moments like that. So it's important that you prepare for moments like that. And the only way you can prepare is to have people that can help you to reduce the workload, because it is usually workload that causes burnout. It's workload that causes pressure. It's workload that causes that moment where you don't feel like editing. But when you work from time to time, you never experience burnout. You have time to even live your life. You have time to spend time with family. You have time to even go for vacation, and it doesn't have to be expensive vacation. You have time to chill and all of that. But when you are overworking, you will be burnt out. I've been there where I edit all of my weddings, and it got to a point I was frustrated. But when I started training people, I was serious about training people, about developing a team around me. Now they do the retouching for me. I have guys that retouch for me. I still retouch. I have some special clients that I retouch for, but for the most part, my guys does most of the work. So I'm not usually on the system at least I've not even opened the system to do anything retouching based for like a week plus now. And work is moving. Work is really, actually I'm talking to you, retouching is going on. So it's important that to be honest, there will be a stage in your business where you have to go through that phase of doing everything yourself. To be honest, I can't tell you now just get a team. All of a sudden in a month, you have the team set. It doesn't work that way. Like I said, it took me time to train the guys that work for me. It's very hard to find ready-made guys that you bring into your team to work for you. It's very hard, except you have the money to pay them. So you have to try to train people. Maybe one guy that lives in your street, that is, this guy's not doing much, let me take him in. Or that neighbor, or that cousin of yours that just finished school and is still chilling. You don't have to put word out and say, I'm looking for staff, and they come and say, pay me this amount every month. You just have to find people that you feel they can be loyal to you for a few years, and you train them so that you can have cushion, help. So even if you are the one doing the retouching and they know how to do the selection or the grading, or something just to reduce the workload, it helps you reduce the tendency of experiencing burnout in your business. But you need people to live a stable life and to have a stable business. You really, really need people. I hope that helps.
What's the advice you can give to newbies like us that are just coming up? What advice?
Advice. All right. So advice for new photographers is, when you are starting out as a photographer, don't look for money. In fact, if you can, find a way to probably earn money on the side. Do not look for money. Look for value. Look for people. That's how to grow. Don't look for money. Look for value and look for people. And let me explain that. You look for value through knowledge. You are just starting out. Money is not priority. Money is usually a result of the value that you carry. So if you are looking for money so early in your career, you will keep looking for money and the money will never be enough. because you don't have enough value to command more money. But when you're just starting out, you leave money one side. I'm not trying to say you should sleep on the streets, but you get what I'm driving at. You leave money one side and look for value through people. You need to find mentors, for example. I've seen a lot of new photographers, they come to you, they want you to train them, and they still want you to pay them. So they tell you, boss, I want to work for you, sir. I want to learn from you. You are my boss. I will say, come. They will come. I say, boss, how much will you pay me? Some will say, boss, let me follow you for wedding so I can see you shoot. They've come. After the wedding, they say, boss, where's my payment for today's job? So they are looking for money, not looking for value. So someone like that, I will just pay you. But the moment I pay you, that's the end. You don't have access to me anymore since you've decided to make our relationship transactional. So if I need you, I will call you next time, maybe to come and help me carry something, and I pay you, and you leave. You can't call me and say you need advice. You can't call me and say you need mentorship. And mentorship is one of the fastest way to grow. You don't know the way somewhere, and someone already knows the way. The person just holds your hand and shows you the way. So a lot of young photographers don't think that way. They just think, if I do this, what will I get in return? If I do this, what is in store for me? If I do this, what's my gain? If you are thinking like that, you can't grow. You have to be thinking now, what can I give to this person? That's how all these people I said I met that started giving me jobs. That is how I met them. I did not meet them just by walking to them. I met them because I went to give something to them. So you have to go, what can I give this man? Can I give him my time? Can I give this mentor my service? Can I give him my skill? Okay, I'll give him my time or my skill for the next 1 year, for the next 6 months, so that I can be beside this man and download his experience, download his knowledge for myself. That is value. Imagine being with someone that has been doing something for 10 years, 15 years. You are just entering the thing maybe 1 year, 2 years. And you are with that person and you are able to download the person's knowledge for maybe you are with the person for 6 months or a year. And you come to a point where you are almost as good as the person. Are you not going to command more value that way? It's like you are fast-tracking your journey. It's something that will take you 10 years to master. You are with someone that already knows it, and in a year, 2 years, you master it. So in that year, 2 years, it might be tough. Maybe you are not making all the money you want to make. Maybe you don't have the brand you want to build. But it's a period, it's a phase, it's temporary. As long as you focus on getting. When I was with my former bosses then, I don't want to mention him now, photography, they didn't used to pay me anything. In fact, we would travel. I didn't really care. I was not there for the money. In fact, they didn't even teach me anything. There was no time where they would sit me down and say, okay, Sheyi, let me show you how I do this. Not even once. But I was just there watching. That's what I was doing. So when I'm there, I was just like, why did she set a camera like that? When I get home, I'll take my tiny camera, practice it on my sister's son. My sister's son was my model. I was okay, what's she? And it looks good though. Okay, why did she retouch like that? Because it's different from what I know. I'll go and practice it. And I was with her for like a year. And in the space of that year, she did not even believe I could shoot like that. In fact, then she'll be hiring second shooters. And I'll be like, I'm even better than this second shooter you're hiring. But I'm just an assistant. I will still be carrying the light. But I'm better than this. Why can't you let me second shoot? But she didn't, because she didn't teach me anything, but I was very, very curious. So I'll be watching her. Anything I see her do, I go home and practice it. So in less than a year, I was like a professional photographer, literally. Why? Because I was with a professional. And I downloaded the value from her. I didn't care about her giving me money. I was not interested. I was very broke. I used to trek home from the office. So it's not like maybe I had money to spend. But I didn't care. I took that value from her. And in a very short period of time, I became a professional. In less than 2 years, I was a professional photographer shooting weddings. Very well. Because I was able to take value from people. Not steal, because I was serving them. It's not like I just go up there, steal and run away. I was one sweeping, I was one kind, so I was serving them. So people don't understand the place of service. So if you are just starting as a photographer, learn to serve. Learn to serve people that can give you value, not money. Don't say, if I work for this man, he must pay me. No. When you get that value, you go back out to the marketplace. You will command money. Money will gravitate towards you because your work is good. You have a good business. You have the good mind. You have good knowledge that you can use to apply to the growth of your business. I hope that helps.
All right. Thank you. My own question is like just a personal question. So lately I've been trying to balance when it comes to acquiring knowledge and the aspect of getting gadgets. So sometimes when I proposed a certain amount to buy a certain gadget, but I'll just see like a webinar on photography or the other thing, I'll just jump on it. So I don't know if that's a deficiency to my business, acquiring knowledge and not looking towards.
And when it comes to gadgets, you should only invest your money on important gadgets. I can afford to buy big gadgets, but I really don't use big gadgets. For those of you that are close to me, you know I shoot a beginner mirrorless camera. I can buy the biggest one. I can buy a dozen. but I don't think like that when it comes to money. All I need is a camera that can give me very good results, and I have a 24 megapixel camera that can deliver good results, and I have standard lenses. I use Sigma Art lenses for the most part. So if you want to create quality photography, you have to have good gadgets. So if you don't have good gadgets, you can't create quality photography. That's me being honest. It's not gadget that makes the pictures beautiful. It is the lighting and the posing and all of that. But the gadgets gives the picture quality. That's the fact. So you need to have good prime lenses, but in the beginning, don't spend all of your money on gadgets. Because what's the point of having all the gadgets when you don't have knowledge? You have to find a balance. So in the beginning, for example, you should have a 50 mm, a standard 1.8 50 mm. That one will give you standard quality image. You should not be a photographer without a 50 mm. Especially if you are just starting out and you cannot afford all the 1.4. At least that's like the cheapest quality lens out there. Whatever brand, I'm sure there's 50 mm from Canon, there's for Sony, for Nikon, all of that. You should have that. Then have a decent camera body, full frame. Don't have crop, and this is maybe not. Have a decent. It doesn't have to be a mirrorless, even if it's just a 6D or D750. Or I'm not very familiar with Sony, but a D750 or D810 or something. Have a decent full frame body with a 50 mm prime. If you have that one, you already have gear. So you can now focus on developing your knowledge and also investing in lighting equipment, because light is powerful. You need good continuous light. You need good strobe lighting to give you your image better quality. You cannot be shooting portrait and you're shooting it with speed lights. You can't. You need to have a Godox AD600. It doesn't have to be Godox, but at least a 600 powered light or a 200 powered light minimum. I don't think you should have anything less than a 200 watts powered light. So you can have quality light. So if you can invest in those simple things, don't beat yourself up about having 5 lenses or something. No, just have 50 mm. 50 mm is good enough for portraits. Then maybe you can have one wide. Even if the wide is not as fantastic, maybe if you have events, you can be using it for that event. But you have 50 mm and you have light, then you now immerse yourself in knowledge. Because it's the knowledge that will help you get the best out of that camera. And when from that knowledge you're able to get the best out of that camera, you'll be able to make more money. Then when you now start making more money, you can now say, okay, now it's time to step up. Let me buy a mirrorless. Let me step up my game. But trust me, if you see the photos we shoot with this 750 here, you'll be shocked. Don't let anybody come and lie to you that it's gadget, but at least you should have a full frame. I'm not going to come and tell you to be shooting a crop sensor. Except it's a crop sensor mirrorless. But a crop sensor DSLR, nah. Say no. Shoot full frame, and have a standard 50 mm for a start. Then other things can come in after, All right. So, okay, LOP now.
Well done for.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say this. Like I said, my question will be personal. Like I will a bit want to bring you back to the answer you gave to one of the questions about building a business brand and also training people, building a team. How do you? I have my question now. Just touch on that. Then I'll ask my question now. How do you manage when you train people, 1 or 2, 3 people for free, right? And even at that, like they are telling you while you are training them, they are even telling you how they want to even start their own business. Like you can tell that this one are not ready to even stay with the business. So from there you can actually tell, and that's one of my experiences. And also, while you are even doing the business branding, you send people for jobs, and while they are at the job, they do their own they launch themselves as a personal brand aside from the business, and the customer stops calling you as a business and they start calling them personally. So why they leave you they left the business, they start their own personal business. So you stop seeing those people. What I'm saying, people that knows me understand what I'm saying, but I won't say more than that. So that's that. Please help us touch on that. Then my own question now is financial management. How do you do your budgeting? Because 200,000 enter for a gig as profit. How do you now manage it? I had a mentor, like you said, that used to tell me all these things, but see, the real life. This camera now, I will tell you real life. As the 200,000 is coming in now, the school fees of my daughter is knocking at the door. And I know that I will put 30% here, 10% for God, this one there, 2%. When you leave all this percentage, I want to go and pay,
School fees.
how do you manage all these things?
All right, so let me start with the team part, then we get to the finance part. So when it comes to building a team, there are certain consciousness and mindset you must have from the beginning. First of all, people will betray. People always, that one you must know that one. People will always betray. That one is first have that at the back of your mind that you will train some people and they will desert you. First, I'm not trying to say you should prepare them to desert you, but just know that it's bound to happen one time or the other in your journey. It is when you start bringing in people, you will find the one that will be loyal and you find the one that will mess up. That's normal. First, so that's it. Now, when it comes to building team, I believe one of the major mistakes us creatives make is that because you are training someone, we don't usually give back to them the best way we can. So you bring some people in to train them and you feel like they have to give you their life for the next 10 years. We want it, but it's very hard to find people that will be that loyal for long, even though you train them. So as creative, we think when we train you, at least you should know the value of the training you got and at least give us your time for another 2-3 years at least to show appreciation. But no, they came there to get that knowledge. They didn't come there because they love you. So if they feel like they have the capacity or capability to be on their own, they will just go. That's normal. So first of all, you have to have that mindset of the fact that having a team is usually a cycle. So as you are training somebody, as the person is getting stronger, you must have people that is coming in as replacement. It's important. Don't get lost in, these my guys are getting good. And you are enjoying. No, the fact that they're getting good is a sign that you need replacements. As guys getting good, so you need replacements. So as to keep that cycle going, number one. Then two, when you see that you're training someone, you've trained a set of people and they are getting better, you have to understand that they are becoming valuable. And the only way you can keep them with you is to give them value. The fact that you train them does not mean, that's the fact, because I've been there. So the fact that you train them, we think because we train them, they should give us their destiny. They will betray you because they want money and they are going out there, they see what you are making, they see what's out there, the opportunities, they will not want to stay. No, but people are not really patient, except for if you are just lucky to meet some people. So it's the pattern I said, this guy is good. No, now I need to give him value. So you can say, for example, for a gig, if he shoots a gig, he gets maybe 5% of the gig. It's a part, so you're making him a part of a business. Okay, for every gig you shoot, because of it, you get 3%. You can be 2%, depending on how you choose to come about. I know it might not be percentage based. It can be money. Okay, for every wedding you shoot, you get. So, because when they are still training, you say, they are my boys. They just shoot for you, give them transport or something. Sometimes we don't even give them anything. But when they come to a point where they are giving value back, you have to recognize that value. If not, they will leave. So the fact that you recognize the value does not mean they will not still live, but at least it helps you keep them with you for longer until it comes to a point where they need to leave. And that is one of the major issues of our industry. People don't understand the meaning of collaboration or partnership. So us photographers that already own businesses, we will train people. But these people we train, they don't understand partnership and collaboration. So they believe the moment I become a good photographer, I'm supposed to start my own business. No. You don't have to start your own business because you are not a good photographer. You can even partner with the business that you are currently in and make the business better. For example, your business is in learning. You have someone that has trained. The guy is so good. And the guy takes the name of the business, takes it to Ibadan and use the same name to push the business in Ibadan. So that LOP Studios has a branch in Ibadan. Nobody cares to know what's behind the scene. And the guy that moves to Ibadan, carrying the LOP name, can be taking 50% of the Ibadan business. He owns 50%, half of the business. He doesn't need to start his own from scratch, start building the name. LOP Studios has been existing for a while. People already know the name. So why go and start another one from scratch when you can just match with LOP and double? Or even if you guys are still living in the same town, you can take double jobs. You go for one. So there's more ways for the person to make money easy without him starting a new brand from scratch. But a lot of photographers don't understand this thing yet, and I really can't blame them. I would say it's because of what they met. A lot of us too, when we learned, We too, when we finished, we started our own. So, but we need to start to educate them that you don't have to start your business. You can be here, but we have to learn to give to them. Because you cannot say you can be here and you're not offering them value. They say, bro, you can be my partner now. You can be my partner. You get this out of business. And you know that you will make your life easier. Maybe the guy is a very good retoucher. This guy come and partner with me, take so percent, small piece, take 5% of every of our earnings. It goes to you, but you have to be responsible for so. Maybe retouching the jobs. You know that you're like, okay, retouching is out of your hands. So it's not like a lot of us, for example, love to take. We give them just tiny, and they will never be satisfied, and they end up leaving you. So it's important that you learn to recognize value and give value back to them. That will really go a long way, in helping you. All right, so let's talk about finance now. Budgeting is a very tricky game, especially for us creative. I'm a married man anyway, so I have commitment just like you, and it can be tough. It is actually tough. To manage money as a creative. But one of the major mistakes we make is that when we started our photography business, it was not a business. It was something that is just paying us money. So when we started, the moment we get money from a client, the money goes straight to our pocket. All of it. So we've not even built that habit of treating the money, believing that money that comes from the client is not me, it's not my money. Because the fact that you started the business doesn't mean you own the business. The business is separate from you. So if you begin to have that consciousness from the beginning, it helps you. From my trainings, I found out that even if you are the one that started the business, you should. One of my mentors will tell me that I'm supposed to go and look for another side also. On the side, maybe I'm consulting somewhere to make some extra bucks for me to be able to keep up with my needs. Even though that doesn't mean the business is not making money, but it's not my money. So I'm supposed to be paid from the business. The business is a baby on its own. And the only way the baby can grow is if it's nurtured. So a significant sum of money made by the business is supposed to go back to the business. That's a base law. But we just take them. So a lot of times when we earn money, we just spend on what is needed at that point in time and look forward to the next money that is coming. And that's a major mistake we make. You understand? So it's important that we learn to remove ourselves from the business. That, okay, this is Clinical Studios. This is my life. How much do I need to run my life? It has nothing to do with the studio, what the studio is earning. Even if the studio is earning tens of millions, how much do I need to run my life? Okay. All right. So based on the level of the studio now, how much can the studio pay me? Based on the capacity of how much my photography business have come. Okay, they can pay me so. Then you stick to that for the period. And as the business grow, you can review your salary or it doesn't have to be salary. It can be percentage per job. It can be like for every job, 15% is my own. For every job, 30% is my own, depending on. But you have to have a particular quota that you take out of your business that you stick with. It's not like maybe when a client pays for a job, you now remember you have to pay school fees. No. I understand life happens. I will be honest with you. You are a man, I'm a man. So I'm not here coming to sound like an alien. That don't make mistake. Or there are no times where client pay, I just take the money, I just go and used to pay one rent somewhere. Yes. But when it comes to the base of things, it's important that you don't take business money and make it your personal money. No. You have to take a percentage. So there will be times that it will be hard for you. But that's where discipline comes to play. The money is there in the company. And you need money. But you can't touch it. Because you have disciplined yourself to say, I've taken my share. This one belongs to the company. Except it's an emergency, maybe life and death. If it's not, you have to find, okay, what can I do on this side? Maybe I should go and be second shooting for this guy, these few Saturdays that I'm free. Let me go and second shoot so I can make some extra money on the side to sort my bills instead of just dipping hand into. So when you separate yourself from the company, everything starts becoming easier. It will be tough to do because it requires discipline, especially if you are not answerable to anybody. You are doing out the business. Nobody will come and question you and say, why did you do this? If you take it, you question. You can't even question yourself. So it takes a lot of discipline, and it's hard to do. Trust me, it's really hard to do. But it's the only way because that's how businesses grow. When I came to a point where I said, okay, because I've been very reckless in times past, very reckless. Money comes like this. That's when I remember what I want to buy my girlfriend and the next outfit I want to buy or the car I want to change. So I've been there. But when I came to a point where I said, no, the money of the business belongs to the business, that is when my business started to grow. Because it's like I began to water the business. I started doing the things that are necessary, from gadgets to training, to building a team, to salaries, to facility, to every other, to marketing budgets, to all these things. So my final point is this: when you receive money from a client, take your quota or your pay. Then the rest goes to different channels of your business, like marketing. But there has to be budget for marketing. That one is important because you have to sponsor your work. Even if you don't know how to do all the marketing, you should sponsor your work, your best work. And that one should not stop. It should be a going concern. It's not like maybe you have a beautiful picture now, you now sponsor it for 1 week, and that's the end. No, you're supposed to keep sponsoring. More people have to see. Don't forget that half of your followers are photographers. So don't rely on your photographers, on your followers. You have to put your work out there, sponsor, and you need to budget for it. So if you collect that 200K you talked about, you need to say, okay, and this 200K, 30K is for marketing. At least 30K, if I do 3K per day, it will take me for 10 days at all. It will reach people that is outside my own normal followership. That's something. You can say, okay, another maybe 50K is my own income, my profits for myself. Then the rest goes to other things that's necessary in your business. Maybe you need to pay some interns, or you pay some of your workers, or you need to service some of your equipment, or whatever thing that you do for the business, and you need to save. Saving can be low. Saving can be as low as 15%. 20%, but you have to spread. And when you cultivate the discipline to do that when the money is small, that is how you grow to becoming big. Because if you don't cultivate that discipline when the money is still small, you won't. When the money is coming in, that's how you will just be squandering it. Even if you collect 10 million, it will never be enough. We usually think it will be enough. Trust me. When I was collecting 150K for weddings, I'll be like, no, it's because of my price. That when I charge 300K, everything will be different. When I charge 300K, same complaint. It's not enough. Economy. We need more money. I charge 500, charge it. It's the same. So you find out that it's about your culture. When you cultivate the right culture, it significantly helps you manage your money and manage your finances better. I hope that helps. So wrap up with your question and all right.
Thank you, LOP, for that question, because I've been trying to look for like a side hustle, as you said, to just help with that. So I want to ask, I want to just take you back to when it all started. I knew you started in the banking sector. So how was it then for you when you translate this
banking to photography?
Camera? How did you the challenges then?
Look, my own journey was peculiar because when I got the banking job, I was excited. My family was happy. I'm a banker. That's mindset. We thought getting a job is the dream. So when I started working in the bank and I did 6 months, I knew it was not for me. It dawned on me that no, I can't do this because of the stress of working in the bank. And I learned a bit of photography where I was serving. So it was just a case of, I need to find something else to do. So I was like, okay, I learned photography when I was serving. Let me go and explore photography again. So I started exploring it and I fell in love with it while I was a banker. So I started learning aggressively. So I resigned from the commercial bank I was working because that one, you have to, you work like 8 to 8. So I didn't have time. So I moved to a microfinance bank. A microfinance bank gave me a little more, not a lot of time. I closed by 5. So at least I still have the rest of the evening. So from work, I trek home because I've used all my money to buy, I've maybe bought memory card or bought reflector or something. So I trek home, and when I go home, I practice all night. Sometimes I sleep 3, 4, 5. Sometimes I don't sleep till the next day. That's how radical I was. So while I was a banker, I used all of my nights to practice photography. I would shoot shoot ring, shoot my sister's son, my sister's baby, shoot bicycle. I was just practicing with anything available. And I kept practicing. I kept becoming better, even though I was still in the bank. So my fellow colleagues started noticing that, what do you do? This one that you come to the office and you're dozing every day because I didn't sleep. I was like, I'm doing photography now. And before I knew it, gradually I started shooting even my colleagues. You just invite me to their church or invite me to their house. I even shot one of their weddings. And that's also, I was already shooting while I was still in the bank. You understand? So it was easy for me to transit. I did not just resign and start photography. I was already running Red Magic as a banker. But it was very hard for me. Very, very tough. But my own it's not like, a lot of people tend to be lazy. Believe me, a lot of young people are lazy. So there's nothing wrong in having a 9 to 5 and building something on the side. When the thing is looking like, okay, it seems to be paying now, then you move and face that. Because that's what I did. I did not just say, oh, I love photography, I'm in love with photography. Photography is not my passion. I just left the bank. No, you have to be wise. I was still earning the salary. Because it was the salary I used to buy my camera. I took a loan from the bank. When you work in these organizations, you have access to some. So I took loan. And I took all the possible loans. I took the upfront, I took the last front, I took all the loans. So my salary was very tiny because I'm using everything to pay back the loan. So I had to stay in the bank until I finished payment of that loan. But at least with that loan, I was able to buy a camera. I bought 50mm lens, the same 50mm I'm talking about. I bought reflector, I bought memory, I bought little, bought speed lights, bought the standard things. I think I was even able to buy a small CPU, or those big desktop CPU with a small monitor I was using to edit. So I got the necessary things I needed as a banker with the loan I took. So when I finished paying my loan, I already had camera. I was already shooting weddings on the side. So I was capable to resign without thinking of camera. I already had these things. I just resigned and I started looking for jobs and I was able to survive. You understand? So if you have a stream of income, it requires wisdom to cut off a stream of income for another. You don't just rush because you are passionate about something. You have to calm down, be wise, make the right decision, and that will help inform what comes after. Thank you so much. All right, so guys, I hope you guys have learned something from this episode. Thank you, LOP, for the difficult questions. It's not difficult, I'm just joking. Fevitainment, Project One, thank you for joining us on this special episode. I believe you guys learned something. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel and also like this video so your fellow colleagues can also see this conversation and learn from it. I hope to see you guys in another episode. God bless you all.